will be delighted to invite Dr. Fadila Ali Yushush to present a talk entitled The Importance of English for Professional Development, Healthcare Practitioners' Perceptions. So thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you for,
Yes.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. So we have organized the work according to the following outline. We have the introduction, the statement of the problem, the methodology used, the results, and recommendation. So, as the predominant language of medical literature, international conferences, and academic research, English has emerged as an essential tool for communication and professional development in the medical field. For healthcare professionals, the ability to communicate effectively in English is particularly important in environments where medical practitioners interact with international colleagues. Additionally, English is the primary language in many of the world's leading medical journals, clinical guidelines, and educational materials, making it indispensable for staying updated with advancements in medical science. We know that most, if not all, the advancements in medical science are published in English. So in order to keep updated with the new advances in this field, we are obliged, the healthcare practitioners are obliged to develop their skills in English. So, the aim of the present study is to shed light on the importance of English for professional development from the medical professional's point of view. The present research is guided by the following research questions. So we tried to answer the two research questions. What are the medical professionals' views about the importance of developing their language skills in English for their professional development? The second question is, to what extent do the courses of English included in their training prepare them for their professional career? Because, in fact, during their studies, they had English, but to what extent are these courses, do these courses help them as far as their professional career is concerned? So, of course, I'm not going to restate all the theoretical aspects of ESP, but just to give you some insight concerning the theoretical and conceptual framework of our study. We relied first on, we divided the literature review into three parts: ESP and types of ESP, English for medical purpose, and of course the importance of EMP. So for the first part, we relied on the works of Dudley and Evans, Hutchinson, Waters, or Robinson, who are considered as pioneers in the field of ESP. Then we moved to the English for medical purposes. We have relied on the work of Pavel and Swalls. And for the importance of EMP, we have relied on Old Sibuzi and Sabrina work and Mahir International Medical Communication. These are the main studies on which we relied to make our review of LIT. For the methodology and research design, in order to investigate the issue raised in this present research and answer the research questions, 22 medical specialists have participated in this study. So a questionnaire divided into three sections. The first one, just to know the profile or who are the participants. The second section is dealing with English for medical, in general, and English for medical purposes. And the last one is just an open, if you want, a space where we invited the participants to give their opinions and suggestions concerning the issue. So the questionnaire is composed of open-ended and multiple-choice questions. So it was administered to the participants, and we used the data as a collection data tool. Of course, the questionnaire was in French, because most of them asked us, the participants asked us to have the French version of the questionnaire. So for the results, I'm not going to detail all these results, just to show you the participants. So are from different specialties, as you can see. We have pharmacy, chemistry, dentistry, pharmacology, and so on. So we have different specialties to show that in all these specialties, English, of course, is very important, because, as I have just stated, all the studies that are conducted and published in journals are published in English. So you can see that we have a diversity of specialties. So concerning the training, we have asked them if they had any training in medical English. So the percentages show that we have half of them acknowledged that they really had this training. For the others, it was not the case for all of them. So the context in which they had this training is mainly during their studies. For the preparation of their degree, courses at the Faculty of Medicine, Medical School Education, Department of Pharmacy, and so on. And the most important element here, it was just stated by our colleague from CETIF, Dr. Amina Mzian-Shrif, who said that there is what we call les CEUL, who play a very important role as far as teaching English is concerned. So for some of them, they said that they had the training, and this training was thanks to the Center for Intensive Language Teaching. So the question concerning, Of course, this morning, Dr. Mzian-Shrif asked the question, which was, what skill do we need to teach for these practitioners? Do we have to focus on listening, speaking, reading, or writing? In fact, in my questionnaire, I've tried to target all these skills, because you know that when you are a healthcare practitioner, mainly specialists, they have to participate in congresses, they have to attend conferences, so they need listening, they need speaking. And when writing an article or a scientific report, they need writing. So all of these skills are in fact needed as far as this profession is concerned. So the first question was about conferences in English. We have asked the participants if they have ever attended the conference in English, where all the debate and the talks were in English. And a majority of them said that yes, they had this experience. Concerning this experience, we asked them to evaluate the understanding of the information they received there. So for a majority, they rate the level of comprehension between 40 and 60%. It means that they were not able to get all the information provided during these conferences. Now we move to speaking, concerning the presentation of talks in English. So we asked them if they had this experience of communicating in English. So a majority of them, 72.2%, said no. Why? Because simply they do not have the necessary tools with which they can transmit their ideas. So even if they want to participate, they have the knowledge, but how to transmit the knowledge is a real handicap for them. They do not have the tools, the necessary linguistic tools by which they can express themselves. So this is for speaking. For those who said that they presented the talk in English, we asked them to evaluate this experience in terms of difficulty. So for 57.1%, it means the majority, they acknowledged that they faced difficulties. It was challenging for them to present a talk in English. So concerning the writing skill, because they have to publish in English, they have to make reports, to write reports in an academic scientific English. So we asked them if they tried to publish in English, and 60% said that they had this experience of writing in English, but it was challenging because they said that there were many difficulties at this level. So what were these, we asked them about these kind of difficulties, so we recorded the following answers. Difficulties are mainly related to writing in general and scientific and medical English in particular. Writing terminology, and this was the issue raised by my colleagues this morning, the problem of terminology. Writing style, the use of appropriate vocabulary, the register related to their field of interest. Medical writing, limited vocabulary, problems of syntax, and medical writing in general. These were the answers provided by the participants. Now, for reading, as another skill that should be developed, we have reading. Because in order to access information, they all try to read in English. They all try to read in English. They are obliged to read in English because everything, articles are published in English. So, and of course, even in reading, we have recorded difficulties. Because if you don't have the vocabulary, you cannot get the idea about the article. So it's difficult for them to read, because sometimes what happens is that when you start reading an article and you don't have the necessary vocabulary, you are looking for words in dictionaries and so on, translation, it makes it difficult for them to get all the information. So, and as another question, do you feel a certain need for medical English? Of course, all of them acknowledge that there is an urgent need to develop the 4 skills. Not only speaking or listening or reading or writing, but all of them, because learning a language means developing the 4 skills. As a last part of the questionnaire, we asked them to provide us with suggestions. So, more interest should be given to the training of university teachers in medical English so as to improve their skills in scientific research and writing. Global comprehension is not very difficult. It means that they can get the ideas, but speaking and writing are difficult for me. Integration of medical English into training curriculum, organize courses in English through the faculty, medical English training, learn technical English, continuing education and personalized assistance in the preparation of abstract, article and oral communication, training in medical English for all teachers in the medical school would certainly be an advantage. And one of them said, I would like to have a training in medical English. It means for this person, the answer was not, it doesn't matter if they get the certificate, but for them, the most important is to have these courses. So, the discussion of the results. The participants' answer revealed that they consider English as a necessary tool for their professional career. The first positive aspect from the questionnaire and the data, that they are aware of the importance of English. They all acknowledged its importance in different aspects of their profession, such as reading, through which they can access documentation and literature about a variety of topics. Yet, for most of them, their level in English doesn't allow them to read or communicate in English, since they consider their level in English language between beginner and intermediate. As a matter of fact, they expressed their need for EMP courses. For those who have already tried to communicate orally or in written form in English, they identified some problems, such as lack of appropriate vocabulary, register related to EMP. This situation constitutes a handicap for their professional career. According to Mackay and Montfort, ESP is generally used to refer to the teaching of English for a clearly utilitarian purpose. That is to say, that English should be taught to achieve specific language skills using real situations in a manner that allows them to use English in their future profession or to comprehend English discourse related to their area of specialty. Thus, course designers should take into account the practitioner's needs and tailor courses according to their needs, wants, and lacks. We know that these are the first steps in designing course, mainly in ESP. So, for the pedagogical implications and recommendations, the predominance of English in medical literature cannot be overstated. Therefore, designing courses to answer the needs of medical professionals is of paramount importance so as to allow them access this wealth of information. Because of time constraints, flexible courses such as virtual classes could be suggested for all practitioners. Adopting new approaches and methods, because medical English cannot be taught at the level of or in the same methods of basic English language teaching. As a conclusion, the study findings highlighted the participants' views about the importance of developing their language skills in English for their professional development. The collected data permitted us or allowed us to answer the first research question concerning the view of the practitioners as far as the importance of English is concerned. Concerning the second research questions about the efficacy of the courses of English included in their training in relation to their professional career, the results indicate that they are not really answering their needs. The courses neither prepare them to communicate in English nor to read scientific literature written in that language. It means that the courses are not designed according to the needs of this specific audience, okay? And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Ali Shush, for this insightful presentation. Our speaker has mentioned or has tackled two research questions to which she has answered in detail, taking into consideration the theoretical framework concerning ESP, EMP, and importance of EMP. For the methodology, she has submitted her questionnaire to 22 medical specialists, and the results were very sometimes obvious, some other times very insightful. To these questions concerning training in English, 50% of her participants declared not to have a training in English, and the others took this training during the preparation of their degree or at the sale. We always mention the sale because this is a point recurring all the time. I guess debate will be on that point, how to make it efficient for healthcare practitioners, teachers and students. Another question tackled whether they listened to a conference in English, read in English, or wrote in English. So for the 4 skills, there were different answers, and which were very, very informative for the audience. And she has added further suggestions from these students on how to improve and to develop their skills. And finally, she has tackled or shed light on pedagogical implications and recommendations, for which we thank her very, very much. Thank you very much.
How is it?
So I invite, thank you very much. So I invite Dr. Unisa Aitman from University of Bijaya. And the presentation's title is Exploring Some Theory and Their Implication in Teaching ESP in Algerian Medical Context. I would beg you to respect her time so that we could be able to set the debate session, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. D'accord. Ok. Donc après هذه D'accord. Donc prochain c'est Dr. Unisa. On va Dr. Souad Atmazilou. C'est pas
Okay then, good morning everyone. Welcome to this beautiful encounter. And first of all, I would like to thank all my colleagues and friends for permitting us to see each other and to share in this very important event. So here, my presentation then stems from a very personal experience, and it's very exciting to embark with you in this beautiful adventure of teaching an English for medical purposes. So here it took, it took great time to recognize that all discourse or any discourse is a kind of ESP. Even literature and civilization is a kind of ESP finally. Okay, so here, in fact, the title of my presentation is Exploring Some Theories and Their Implications in Teaching ESP in Algerian Medical Context. So here I prefer to start from where my colleagues from the morning, in fact, tried to say that here nothing has started yet, okay? So since it has not started yet, so all contributions is really appreciative and is going to be a very important collaboration. So here we contribute, in fact, by starting to, what is the most important idea of this presentation is, in fact, to try to find, or in fact, to bridge this gap between theory and practice. It is very difficult, and I know that teaching or learning a language mainly for adult persons, so we are speaking about medical practitioners, so sure that it's going to be very difficult, and we have felt the frustration of the doctor of the morning. She is too much frustrated as far as the way how to speak with the patients, how to present her diagnosis, how to explain for example, this old aged person what is meant by pain or douleur or القريح. So here it is something very difficult, and we try to find a kind of an answer. So to make it brief, so here I have tried to speak about these points. We have an introduction, importance of the subject, 2 study questions, then theories. I will try to be very brief because here everything starts from a theory. We cannot start any way or any process without, in fact, paying a kind of respect for the persons who were pioneering in trying to present their own research and ideas about how to teach an English in specific domains and purposes. So here, English for specific purposes, as Bas Turkman explains, it is very important because she is a woman. Helen Bas Turkman explains that here it is teaching ESP means, or ESP means this discourse, which is in fact devised for a person or a group of persons that are working in a specific domain. So we can say that all kind or any kind of discourse is a kind of ESP. So here it is very important why English is very important. Why it is important? It is because of globalization and the interconnectedness of healthcare systems and all these things, mainly, for example, the example of COVID-19. So it made the world a very small village, and people needed, in fact, to communicate and to understand each other and to feel mainly each other. So English is very important. So here we have, in fact, this research examines key learning theories, including cognitivism, constructivism, experiential learning, and adult learning theory, and their implication for designing effective ESP curricula tailored for Algerian medical students and practitioners. So right at the beginning, we started, in fact, to interview some doctors and some students and even pharmacists. Okay, so here we tried to get from them some views. So as healthcare becomes increasingly globalized, English has become a bridge language. So effective communication skills in English are crucial for medical practitioners to perform their duties accurately and efficiently, whether interacting with colleagues, understanding medical literature, or treating patients. So here, applying theories such as cognitivism, constructivism, and adult learning theory to ESP curriculum design helps create more effective and relevant learning experiences. So this theory provides insights into how learners process information, acquire skills, allowing educators to design curricula that better meet the needs of medical students and professionals. So here we are going to move to the most important two questions that this study tried to answer. The first one, what are the appropriate theories and approaches that most fit EMP in Algerian context? The second one, what are the challenges that hinder their applications, or in other words, how to link ideas, theories with their application in real world experience, this is in fact the most important and most difficult task, is how to link these abstract ideas with the real experience, okay? So on the domain itself. So of theories in EMP. So here we have, in fact, tried to explain the three theories. The most important one, we have cognitivism, which emphasizes the mental process involved in learning. It suggests that understanding how learners process information can, in fact, enhance teaching methods. So it is Kehan, in his publication, A Cognitive Approach to Language Learning. He demonstrated the role of task-based instruction in second language learning. He drew on psycholinguistics and cognitive features characterizing the process of language learning, focusing on the mechanisms underlying language processing. So here it is very important in medical education. So this theory can guide the development of instructional strategies that promote critical thinking, which is very important, and problem-solving skills that are essential for medical professionals. Then we have constructivism. So here it is in the development of higher psychological process, Mind in Society by Vygotsky. So here in the context of medical ESP, it is also a very interesting theory, since here the focus is in interactive and experiential learning approaches where the student engage in real life medical scenarios. Then we have experiential learning, which aligns well with medical training, where students can learn English through direct application in clinical settings, enhancing their language proficiency alongside practical skill. We have the last one, which is adult learning theory, andragogy, which is not really well-known theory, but it is really important mainly in this case, since here it deals with, you remember, it deals in fact with the needs of adult learners. Now we try to depict what are their needs, and it is very important. Okay, so here the book entitled, it is by Bookfield. It is entitled Understanding and Facilitating Adult Learning, a Comprehensive Analysis of Principle and Effective Practices. It addresses common challenges faced by adult educators, including managing diverse learner needs, overcoming resistance to learning, and dealing with varying levels of motivation and engagement, since we know that when we are advanced in age, it becomes very difficult for a person to acquire mainly language. Okay, so here there is a kind of lack of motivation and, of course, engagement, mainly that the doctors are very busy and they are, in fact, their schedules are busy, so they can't find enough time, in fact, to learn a new language. So now we are going to move of practice in EMP. We have spoken about theory, now practice. Now that we have briefly exposed the learning theories that can be applied to enhance the effectiveness of curriculum and teaching strategies, we will attempt to show how educators, so in a very modest way, may design their courses, assess student learning, and engage learners in medical field by using this theoretical framework. Therefore, we will introduce the approaches that are able to help medical practitioners to learn English in specific specific context for medical purposes. So in Algeria, there is no need for a doctor who receives his instruction in French to speak English with his patients. Okay? We have never heard about a doctor who speaks English with the patients. Okay? So the local, so generally spoken languages are Berber, Arabic, or French. The medical practitioner can speak French only in a situation where the person or the sick person is an educated one. And it is very rare because here mainly in villages, etc. So persons are expecting the doctor to explain to them what they have, not in French, but in their mother tongue, so to understand their cases. So here, on the contrary, so the doctor should master Arabic or Berber to transmit or translate, in some cases, his message to his sick interlocutor or the one who accompanies him or her. However, what is very important is for Algerian medical practitioners, learning English is important for several reasons that align with both global trends and local needs. So here it deals with the ambitions of the doctors or the students who intend, in fact, to develop their careers and to have more knowledge on the field. Okay? So here it is very important among these reasons. So we have access to global medical research and knowledge. Since English is the predominant language of international medical journals, research paper, proficiency in English enables practitioners to access to the latest research. Okay, I try to sum up. Then we have international collaboration and networking. So here they are going to participate in all the worldwide conferences. We have employment opportunities. So maybe they want to have other positions, either inside or outside at the international level. And we have access to innovative medical technologies. This is very important, mainly in the Algerian case, because sometimes they have machine and they cannot make this machine work because they do not read the manuals. They cannot understand the English that is in the manuals. And we have received many demands to translate or to explain to them how the scanner works or something like that. Okay? Then, so it is of paramount importance to teach EMP for Algerian practitioners. So here we have some approaches. We have the communicative language teaching approach that emphasizes authentic communication and interaction. Then we have the task-based language teaching approach, which is a student-centered using tasks that stimulate real-world situations. This one is very important because it tackles the reality, okay? Then here, these tasks promote language learning through authentic problem-solving and collaborative activities. So it follows the 3 stages: task presentation, task completion, and language focus. So all these tasks have, in fact, this the importance of helping the student at least to understand, to answer, and then to make a kind of a summary of what is inside the activity. Okay? Then we have the content-based instruction. I think that it is the most important one. So this one, here we are going to choose the content that best suits, in fact, the demands of the medical practitioners. Okay? Then I will try to the implication of these approaches for Algerian medical students. These approaches cater to the specific needs of Algerian medical students. So why? Because they have to improve their communication skill. They have to they enhance subject matter understanding. It means it is very important to understand, for example, medical literature or latest journals that are published in order to understand, in fact, what is globally read by their peers at the level of, so internationally. So here there is a kind of increased confidence and motivation. Generally they are in fact guests in conferences, and they find in fact this problem of transmitting or communicating the results of their research that are very important, okay? So here we have some challenges in implementing these theoretical approaches. So we have language proficiency. It is a significant challenge lies in the students' varying levels of English. So here it is very important because these students have different levels, okay? So also we have the cultural context, the strong influence of Arabic and French, and the cultural norms in the Algerian medical context can present challenges in adapting the approaches to local needs and preferences. We have also the limited resources. So here it is very important the role of need analysis in designing effective ESP course. So here each time, and what is the most important idea is that the needs analysis is not going to be limited to a group of students or to a period of time, because it needs to be in fact continual. Okay, and here we have, it should be updated. This is what I want to say. Then, approaches in the Algerian medical ESP class. So, effective strategies. It's very long, okay? I will try to, in fact, to conclude. By combining theoretical frameworks with practical strategies, ESP instruction in Algeria can be improved. This will equip future doctors with the language skills they need to thrive in global medical community. For this, the following points should be stressed: professional development, collaborative partnership, integration of technology that incorporate digital tools and resources into the curriculum to enhance language learning and provide students with access to a wider range of materials. So here are my references. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, but we are really
in a
short of
hurry.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this interesting.
Yeah, could you please?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Unisa, for this very important presentation entitled Exploring Some Theories and Their Implication in Teaching ESP in the Algerian Context, Medical Context. She has started her presentation with an introduction and then shed light on the importance of her subject. She has mentioned the study questions, which were mainly about theories in EMP in Algerian contexts. These theories were cognitivism, constructivism, experiential learning, adult learning theory. And then she moved to Algerian context, EMP and Algerian context. She has mentioned the reasons why healthcare practitioners need to learn EMP, approaches to study EMP, and then challenges in implementing these theories. She has ended her presentation with the role of needs analysis in designing ESP courses, and she has concluded by what did you say for the conclusion?
About the need for professional development.
Professional development. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We move now to the next presentation, which will be presented by Dr. Suad Atma. The presentation is entitled Exploring Medical Terminology, Learning Strategies, a case study on third-year medical students at Constantine University, Constantine III University. That's it? Thank you very much.
There is an error. There is not the second author.
There are two others. We apologize.
We apologize because I think
For-
that it is co-authored paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Azeri is
Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
used to be our student. I do remember
Yes.
you. Welcome.
So welcome as a presenter today. The floor is yours. Go on.
And we beg you to just respect the 10 minutes time. Okay?
So good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Saada Atman from the Constantine University, and I'm pleased to present this research conducted in collaboration with Dr. Tiziri Aziri from the University of Vijaya. The floor is yours, Dr.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Our research explores medical terminology learning strategies, the case of third-year medical students at Constantine University. As we know, vocabulary is very essential, especially in the medical field. This is because science is rapidly evolving, so of course new terminology is evolving. So medical students need to employ different strategies in order to learn this new vocabulary and in order to enhance the retention, comprehension, and the practical application of these new terms. In Algeria, as we know, French is the primary language of instruction, and our minister is trying to to adopt new policy, which is to change the language of instruction from French to English. Based on this, many universities in Algeria are trying to adopt this policy and to change into English. In fact, learning medical English is very important as it opens many job opportunities for medical students and also facilitates the process of studying abroad and helps them access to global medical resources. Based on this, there is a gap in the research in which there is limited research which is conducted specifically on Algerian medical vocabulary learning strategies. And to address this gap, we are aiming to investigate the vocabulary learning strategies employed by Algerian medical students at Constantine III University. To reach our aim, our study is conducted to answer the following research questions. The first one is, what are the different vocabulary learning strategies employed by third-year medical students at Constantine University to enlarge their vocabulary? And the second research question is, what are the most on the least used vocabulary strategies by our participants? The data of our study are obtained from a close-ended online questionnaire which is distributed to 32 students at Constantine University. And it contains, our students are asked to answer the statements based on their frequency of use and rating it on a scale from rarely to always. Now I leave my friend.
So our questionnaire is based on the pioneer work of Schmidt's taxonomy of vocabulary learning strategies. The original work is composed of 58 strategies, which are divided into two main groups: discovery strategies and consolidation strategies. The first group are those techniques that learners use when they first encounter the unknown word, and the consolidation strategies are those techniques that learners use to reinforce the remembrance of the newly learned word. Each group is divided or further divided into subgroups. For the discovery strategies, we have discrimination strategies, social strategies, and for the consolidation strategies, we have cognitive, metacognitive, social, and memorization strategies. For the data analysis, the questionnaire was mainly analyzed quantitatively using the statistical software SPSS 23, and the results were displayed in terms of means. Now let's move to the main findings of our study. So the quantitative analysis revealed that medical students of Constantine III University use a variety of learning strategies to master and learn the medical terminology. These strategies fall under the different categories, which are determination category, social category, memorization category, cognitive category, and metacognitive category. This result provides an answer for the first research question, which looks for the various types of vocabulary learning strategies that third-year medical students use to acquire medical terminology. Now let's move to the most and the least used strategies. So the quantitative analysis revealed that the most used strategies within the determination category are relying on context to infer the meaning of familiar words and dividing the new medical word into prefix, root, and suffix. In fact, using context saves medical students time and offers more help when dictionaries and other resources are unavailable. For dividing the words into their components, they allow students to understand the meaning of each part, which facilitate the comprehension of the term as a whole. As we all know that medical terms are often complex in nature and they are compound. So this strategy is really helpful for medical students. In contrast, we found that the least or the less preferred strategy within this category is using the bilingual medical